Hey guys and gals, welcome back to the channel. It's a not so beautiful day here at the North Carolina, South Carolina border. A little bit cloudy, probably gonna get some thunderstorms, which should be nice to get a little bit of rain. Garden could use that. Let's do a little bit of rambling, shall we? Let's ramble about, yep, you guessed it, Afghanistan. From my previous ramble yesterday and the day before, you guys know my feeling on the whole subject. I've been across the pond. I've been a part of the politics, and the optics are what we call skewed. Break everything down to the simplest form of math you can think of. 1 + 1, 2 + 2, that kind of thing. And then look at your mainstream media, and then realize that it's mainstream media, which means it's pretty much just Hollywood. And look at what we got going on. We got a country that we invaded and we have been in for the last 2 decades. That's 20 years, people. That's older than some people that are actually watching this video. 20 years, 2 decades. We have been basically in control of that country from every point of view you can think of. It was under American control. We wiped out the Taliban. We caught all the bad guys, killed all the bad guys, and reformed the country and helped them get their own government going, and got girls going to school and taking the sheets off their face and, liberating this poor oppressed country that's actually been that way since the dawn of time. And here we are playing moral police and pressing different agendas for different reasons. And, you guys can jump down that rabbit hole on your own if you want to. I'm over that. But, I actually watched some news footage for the first time, oh my goodness, in months. Because I just don't do the TV because I don't trust anything that comes off the television, to be honest with you. Unless it's live and people say stuff they're not supposed to say, and you can always tell because the reporter's freaking out. Like, oh my goodness, that's live. But that's neither here nor there. This Afghanistan thing, look, we were in control of the country, the most powerful military force on the planet since the existence of time. We were in control of the country for 20 years, 2 decades. We knew where everybody was. We had all the bad guys, and we leave 2 weeks ago, and a bunch of tribesmen from the mountains riding horses, carrying weapons that were, used in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and even the 70s up against the Russians, just come down and conquer an entire country. Mind you, an entire country that a military that we trained, a police force that we trained, a government that we trained, and they completely, pretty much annihilated them in an afternoon. The president, left all the stuff in the office and hopped the plane and got out of the country, and everything just collapsed. And then you got all this dramatic television footage of people on the tarmac, running up to the military planes, and there was even one of the articles stated that at the airfield, there's no separation between the civilian airfield and the military airfield. Okay, I'm calling bull, on that all day long. Nobody's going to have an unsecured tarmac with military assets on it. It doesn't work that way, okay? It doesn't. Talk to a vet. It doesn't work that way. There's some kind of barricade up separating the military assets from the civilian assets. You don't just get to go all willy-nilly running around the aircraft. It doesn't work that way. You get shot. You get shot multiple times, okay? That's in the States. That's here in the United States. Try that at Pope Air Force Base or MacDill. Or Edwards. Go run around and start kicking the tires on a C-17 and see what happens. Yeah, you'll get shot here in the States. Imagine what happens overseas in a war zone, okay? That's 1 + 1 = 2, not 17 according to their math. But you notice that most of the footage, it's select footage. You see all these paranoid, scared for their life Afghanistan people on the tarmac, chasing down a C-17, climbing on the plane, and it's from one perspective. But here's what gets me. If these people are so paranoid for their life and they're so freaking out that they're all going to die, that they're on an airfield where they would normally be dodging bullets. But not only are they just on this airfield, but look at the footage. They're laughing. They're smiling at the camera. They're waving at the camera. I mean, they're straight TikToking it nonstop all down the runway. I mean, they're TikToking the craziness out of it. All right, so yeah, they look really, really scared. Don't get me wrong. There were probably a whole lot of people in the background that were legit scared trying to get on that plane. But that's not the optics that you get. That's not the truth. If you really look at it, slow it down. Look at these kids laughing, smiling, waving at the camera, TikToking it up. And then you've got another video of what looked to be a C-17 that had just taken off. It was probably, 500-600 feet in the air. In the frame, I'm the camera, and the aircraft is approaching gradually from right to left, approaching me, gaining altitude. And you see this dot fall from underneath the right wing or the right fuselage area. And it's, according to the news media, a person falling from the plane that was hanging. This guy was legit trying to Tom Cruise it and hang on to the side of a C-17 for across the Atlantic flight. Okay, yeah, that was awesome. That was a great idea. But if you notice when you watch this footage, and I'll try to get it tonight, and I'll go live and do it on there and show you guys. But you see the one guy falling from underneath the right wing, and then out of nowhere, there just magically appears another person falling from underneath the left wing area that just appeared a couple hundred feet below the plane. Like, he didn't fall from the plane, the body just appeared, okay? So whoever they hired to Photoshop this or edit this did not do a very good job, number one. Number two, this awesome news crew that's braving the Taliban insurrection and all this good stuff, that's taking these video footages of the people on the tarmac, and they're taking video footage of people falling from the plane. Go show me where that body hit the ground, hotshot. That's going to get you a Pulitzer. Not watching a dot fall from a plane that just magically appears. If you guys don't believe me, go back and look at that footage. You can Google it. It's still on the internet. You can see one body falling from the plane. The other one just appears, like legit out of nowhere. A couple hundred feet below the plane, it's just there. So am I calling bullcrap on that? Yeah, no, maybe. Because I'm not there. I can't give you intel. I can give you information on what I saw from the footage. And let me tell you, it doesn't add up. None of it adds up. It doesn't make any sense. How does an unorganized, basically militia, a bunch of loose-knit tribesmen with different tribal leaders, organize one of the most effective and fastest takeovers of a hugely mountainous terrain country? Like, legit, it is hard to get anywhere in Afghanistan. It's like operating in the Rocky Mountains. But they literally took it over in like the afternoon. They went from not being there because we eliminated them, remember? And they took it over in the afternoon. All right. Yeah. Can we say scripted maybe? And then what does our mainstream media do? Instead of, I don't know, instead of doing their job, what do? They go straight dramatic, and they have to compare it to Vietnam, our exit from Vietnam. Now, granted, it does draw some crazy parallels. There's a lot of things that are similar. But why? Why dramatize that? Why show the Huey on the U.S. Embassy in Vietnam evacuating people, and then show a Chinook over a building in Afghanistan supposedly evacuating people, and draw this parallel of how we're abandoning these people, in this parallel how the Taliban is coming in and taking over the country. Not trying to be a hard ass, but it's their country. They live there. They live there, okay? It's what we would do if somebody came here, took over, and left. That's what we would do. So, obviously, be mindful of what's going on. If you want to gather information or intel on it and make videos on it and make a popular stance, that's great. Do you, and it is knowledge that people need to be aware of. It is happening. None of it, we can't affect any of it. We can't change any of it. We're not, we weren't in the loop on this political maneuvering. But I can tell you one thing. When an economy is crashing and it needs a swift kick in the butt to kickstart the economy. The quickest way to make money is to go to war with somebody. Look it up. Look it up. So if you want to stimulate the economy, crank up that war machine. Stimulate the economy. I'm just saying, it makes sense if you think about it. I mean, here we are. We're so far in debt we can't even spell the word anymore. But now, hey, we've got this conflict. We just brought the troops home. They didn't even get a chance to clean their uniforms and clean their weapons and go home and kiss their wives. And now we're going to get redeployed back to Afghanistan. That is an option. It's on the table. We're going to get redeployed, get drawn into another conflict, get the war machine moving, stimulate the economy. The president's coming to the rescue. He's going to fix everything. Get those poll numbers up. And we're playing this media monopoly game back and forth. We need to worry about our house. Let's get this house in order. Then we can help the neighbors board up their windows. Okay, this stuff is getting just out of hand. My advice, at least what I'm doing, beef up your preps. Make sure you plug any holes that you have. Make sure you gear towards the future, growing your own food, raising your own food. That's one of the reasons why I did this crazy garden, just to see how it works stressed out, and just to get, plant now. If your long-term goal is to survive on a garden and you've never planted a garden before, you're gonna fail. I'm telling you right now. I've been planting stuff all my life, and when you change something up, you change a variable, you better start experimenting and make sure you get it right. So if you've never planted before, or even if you have and you've got a seed bank, test those seeds. Start planting right now. Get used to it. Make your mistakes so you can correct that. So if you're the person that's putting the veggies on the table and you've got to grow them, then you better know how to grow them. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Worry about your circle of influence, and reach out and touch things and affect things that you can. The stuff that you can't reach, don't worry about it. Don't burn any brain cells. Focus on you and your area. That's it for today, guys. I may go on live tonight and chat to you guys for a while about this topic, or maybe a few other things. We'll see. But we'll talk to you later. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff.